Hi, my name is Joe Bonga. I'm the CEO for Africa for SDGs. And at Africa for SDGs, we are keen to ensuring that the global development goals are implemented. And of course, we know it starts from creating awareness. And from awareness, we want to engage into activities and actions that ensure that people are able to come up with implementable ideas that are very, very innovative, scalable, and transferable within their local communities. Some of these ideas have to be able to meet the local issues such as the social, economic, and environmental challenges that face Africa today. We've got a very interesting program for women, especially the young women, called L.I.F.E. And Women's Life is about women in leadership, innovation, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. This is because we realize that young women are still today struggling to occupy influential spaces for leadership. Women have to be at the forefront if we are to experience any transformational development. In fact, for sustainability to be realized, we must make sure that no one is left behind. Women struggle in occupying these spaces due to various issues, and just to maybe highlight a few, I think the three common ones are cultural issues, economic issues, and political factors. Culturally, we are coming from a very gender stereotypical background that is really made up of structures that are patriarchal structures within our societies. And even those women who've made it in leadership, they still experience a lot of sexism involved in that. And as we know that poverty is very rife in Africa, poverty is very rife in Sub-Saharan Africa, and even in Kenya, something must be done to make sure that young women come up and occupy these spaces. At the L.I.F.E Program, L.I.F.E, which is L for leadership, I for innovation, F for financial literacy, and E for entrepreneurship, we bring women together. We give them the skills, the knowledge, and the attitudes and values that they need to come up with ideas and innovations that can improve their living standards and thereby improve the living standards of their home. Well, as we know, Ukraine is the leading country in the world. At the time that I was reading this information on women-headed household, Ukraine was at 49.4, but Kenya is at 36, which means Kenya is really, really among the highest in terms of women-headed households if you compare it to the global highest. And this means that many women are the head of their households, which means that they are really, really like the breadwinners. And that's why we are keeping a very, very keen interest on ensuring that women are capacitated with the right knowledge, skills, attitude, and values to make a difference in their communities and by in their households. Agriculture becomes one of the greatest engagement that women engage in as far as innovation and entrepreneurship activities. Well, as many women do small-scale business and stuff like that, because of the pressure at the leadership level, most women do agriculture, and agriculture contributes to approximately 25% of the GDP in Kenya, and it employs 75% of total labor force, making it one of the greatest areas of potential when it comes to innovation and entrepreneurship. Women make up 42% to 65% of agricultural labor, and this means that we must make sure that if we have more women occupying agricultural labor force, then we need to encourage them and build their capacity to come up with innovative ways that can be implemented, scaled, and transferred in various communities to transform our communities as we go about the work of making Africa better. Now, of all these women that are involved in agriculture, 85% of females actually over 17 years old in Kenya or in most developing countries, they are involved in family holding compared to the 54% of men. So it means that we have to be able to come up with opportunities and platforms that can increase women engagement. Now, if you look at Ndiwa, there is lots of land, but there's also lots of land degradation. There is also lots of fishing opportunity, and even trade. Now, recently during World AIDS Day, we realized that the place is leading in number of HIV infections. This leaves a long trail of HIV orphans or people living with HIV. And we know that they would need lots of good food that will help them nutritionally and also build their CD4 levels. But again, because of that, it suppresses their ability to make more for their families. We believe that they can be engaged in agriculture, they can be engaged in programs that help them to build enterprises around them. We want to introduce young women to coding and just learning a bit of artificial intelligence, coming up with robots. We hope that one day our women will be able to create robots that can drop the ARVs to their doorsteps, thereby cutting off the stereotypes, the stigma that they have to go through in queuing for these drugs. This area also is leading in teenage pregnancy, which means that we must do something as far as sexual reproductive health is concerned. So we just want to combine all these things, put them in the L.I.F.E program. L.I.F.E program, as I said, is leadership. We give them capacity in leadership, and then we train them how to become good leaders, whether it's in their households or wherever they are. But also we talk about innovations. How can they innovate their fishing industry? How can they innovate the agricultural industry? How can they innovate the technology in many other areas that they are in? And financial literacy, how can they learn to budget and the basic bookkeeping, and how can they learn to take care of multiply their capital and get into more business and entrepreneurship? How can they build entrepreneurships around these things? And this is important because access to credit is one of the biggest problems that every sector faces, especially the women, and of course land ownership, because only 20% of women own land in Kenya, meaning that if they are working in the land at 80% and they own only 20%, that's quite a loss for them. And then of course bring up the women in advocacy processes that can help them advocate for relaxed legal regulations around the areas of production so that they are able to produce more with minimum restrictions. So we want to partner with you. We invite a partnership with you. We're looking forward to come and train, come and start a hub there. We want to start a women's hub in Diwa. Actually, we're talking to the county director in the government who allowed us to use the social hall that they have in Diwa. We want to see how we can establish a hub there in Diwa with the stakeholders that are there and see how we can build the capacity of women, help them to access credit, give them seed grants to start doing things that can improve their lives. So we look forward to partner with you, and thanks.